Hello everyone. Today is a bit of a cozy day for me because it is currently raining. The hurricane is kind of just rain right now, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to do this because I've been trying to rewrite the script for this video, record the script, and then realizing that I don't like the script. I've done it a couple times at this point, and I just realized that I think for a type of video like this, it would be better if I did it unscripted. So I'm just going to go off the top of my dome here, and we're going to talk about the Pikmin games. When I heard Pikmin 4 was coming out, I decided that it was about time I finally played these games that I've heard so many good things about. And I started with the Wii version of Pikmin 1. And I have never been more scared playing through a game than I have playing a Pikmin game. These games are truly horrifying. What I thought was going to be a wholesome and charming experience with these cute little guys turned to be one of the most horrific and terrifying things Nintendo has ever produced. But somehow all of that turned into one of the best experiences I've ever had with a Nintendo property. Pikmin, it's hard to categorize Pikmin because, like, definition-wise, it is a real-time strategy game, but really Pikmin is its own unique beast of a game. And it truly is a special experience. It's really hard to go into detail about this game because it's one of the shortest games in the series. And really all I can really say is how the game is. I didn't want to go into integral detail about a game that most of you watching have probably already seen. But I guess I'll give like a brief rundown in the case that you're watching this video and somehow don't know what Pikmin is. In the first Pikmin game, you crash land on a planet and you have 30 days to collect all your ship parts and escape successfully using the Pikmin. You use the Pikmin to carry objects to your ship and carry food back to their onion, in which more Pikmin will be birthed. And you just go through, what, 4 or 5 areas? Collecting ship parts and defeating big scary guys. I think what this game does best is getting the player to strategize every day even better than the last. Because, like, even though you're on a 30-day time limit, you can take your stride with it. You can go at an even pace, not worrying about having the speed run. Even though I definitely like stressed myself out if I didn't at least get 2 parts a day, as long as I was making progress, that's all that mattered. Because there was well more than enough days the game gives you to finish the game. And I think the final level was also pretty cool because you used all 3 of the Pikmin's unique abilities to finish the game. And it all culminated to the final boss, which was also horrifying. Pikmin 1 was super fun, but Pikmin 2 was even better. Pikmin 2 is like Pikmin 1, but with more things to do and just like a more polished experience overall. Again, I played the Wii version at the time as I was playing through these games. The Switch version did not come out yet. And I do plan on getting the Switch version. If I fucking deem it so, I will make a video on the Switch versions too. Even if it might not be necessary. I might do it. We'll see. Regardless, I do want to play the Switch versions because as of right now, I did not fully go through Pikmin 2. I just did the first section of Pikmin 2, which is Clear the Debt. But even then, I could tell through what I did go through with Pikmin 2 that it was a better experience overall. Basically, it's the same thing, except instead of collecting part ships, you're collecting treasure to turn into money. And once you get enough money, you finish the first half of the game, and then the second half of the game begins, where you go to the planet again, except you gotta find your friend and collect the rest of the treasures. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. What did they do differently in Pikmin 2? Technically, the time limit is removed. You can take your sweet time doing shit without having to worry about, oh, if the day reaches 50, the game's over. There's 2 new Pikmin, the white and purple Pikmin, which trivialize the game a bit, but it's still cool. And there are underground sections where There is no day limit. You can spend as much time as you want down there as you want, and it's basically an endurance test because every floor has a shit ton of enemies and some treasure you need to find, and sometimes those enemies aren't fun to deal with. Sometimes those enemies will catch you off guard and really fuck up your Pikmin. And if you really fuck up and decide to reset the underground section you're on, tough luck. The underground sections are randomized layouts, so when you reset, you're going to get an entirely different layout and have to strategize differently with it. And that could be a good or bad thing, because best case scenario, you get a layout that's even better than the last one. Worst case scenario, it gets more confusing. As much as I like Pikmin 2 over Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2 has a little bit of issues. This is coming from someone with no bias at all, mind you. Like I said, these are my first time playing these games. And I think just that alone, like my first time playing through these games, is why I decided to go through this non-scripted video format, because like I don't know as much as the other people do. I'm just rambling on at this point. Like, I don't know the behind the scenes detail on the extensive design philosophy about the Bulbmin, alright? I'm just a guy who is like, wow, Pikmin looks cool, I will play Pikmin, and then I just really liked Pikmin, okay? But I think the underground sections, while are the most fun parts about Pikmin 2, are also the most stressful, because you're only allowed to bring in whatever Pikmin you brought with you. You're not allowed to go back up, grab some more Pikmin, and just start off from where you left off. Whatever Pikmin you bring, or the Pikmin you have, you can run into more Pikmin as you go through, but that opportunity is scarce. I mentioned the Bulbmin earlier. Those are another type of Pikmin that rarely appear in the underground section. From what I read, they only appear in 3 entire caves of the whole game, which seems a little ridiculous, but kind of makes sense, because they're the most overpowered Pikmin in the entire game. They basically have immunity to all things, immunity to all elements, basically. They can go underwater, they can catch on fire, they can touch electricity, they're fine. But they can't leave the cave. That's the one bad thing, is that they can't leave the cave that you found them in. So the best strategy is to just turn them into other Pikmin with flowers. But I kind of went off track. What I was... God, my ADHD ass just went completely off track. I don't know why did I even start talking about Bulbmin? I was trying to talk about the fucking underground sections and why they kind of suck. The way the levels are designed is more annoying than it is cool. Because there are a lot of times where there's a small little section that you can break down a wall, and you break down that wall, but there's nothing on the other side of it. Wasting your time. It just wastes time. And it's annoying. There are also sections where you'll just be walking, and bomb rocks will fall from the sky and just kill your entire squad. That's not cool. It came to the point where when I reached a new level, I would leave all of my Pikmin behind in the start of the area and just walk around, make sure there aren't falling bomb rocks, get a scope of the area, take out any small enemies that I can just by myself. I don't like that. I don't like that I had to go to that decision because of the I don't want to say bullshit, but it is bullshit. That's why I think the underground sections are a little not fun. It's just the randomized layouts can be interesting, but also can be a detriment to the design. Bulbmin are really cool, but you only see them 3 times. Fuck bomb rocks. That's basically it. Some of the enemies down there are bullshit, but that's whatever. That just comes with the package. One of the things I forgot to mention about Pikmin 2 is that you actually control 2 characters. You can separate tasks between the 2 characters, which can be interesting, but I did not take full advantage of this at all, because I was stupid and didn't know how to. All I did with this mechanic was I would leave Louie behind at the start of the ship and then have Olimar go do everything. and whenever I needed Pikmin, I would just switch to Louie and have him grab the Pikmin that brought shit back. As useful as controlling 2 characters is, I did not take full advantage of that mechanic, and I think the game that made me realize how important multitasking is in these games is Pikmin 3. Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I did not like it at first. I'll say that much. Like, as I was playing it, I was like, wow, this is super cool. I like this aspect, I like these aspects, and I like this. And then the game ended, and I was like, that was it? That was the whole fucking game? Are you dead ass right now? It was crazy to me, because the levels were... Well, the levels felt bigger than Pikmin 1 and 2. But you can get them done so much faster, because you're controlling 3 characters at once in this game. Getting even more done than in Pikmin 2. But my problem stems from the fact that the game is so short. That's my one grief with the game, is that it is so goddamn short. The game ends faster than Pikmin 1. Like, you can beat the game quicker than you can Pikmin 1. And I think that's stupid. Because what I thought was considered a side quest of the story actually ended the game. And that blew my mind. It blew my mind in the bad way. Like, I was fucking dumbfounded. Because, like, you go to this planet to find fruit. That's the whole reason you're here, is to find fruit. You run into some problems on the way. Yeah, you crash your ship and you lose, like, the most important thing to get out. But most importantly, you're collecting fruit. That's, like, the main reason you went there, was to collect fruit, right? So how come the side quest of finding Olimar and getting the key back was what ended the game? Is what blows my mind. Like, and it wasn't like in Pikmin 2 where you finish one section of the game, you can go back to the next section and collect the rest of the things. No, once you finish the fucking saving Olimar part and beat the final boss, that's it. The game is over. You can't go back and collect everything. That's just it. And I think that's so goddamn stupid. Because, like, it just goes to show how much of a stupid way it ends. Because, like, when it ends, you get, like a credits roll of, like, what happened after. And that entirely depends on how much fruit you collected. And I think that's like a show of how the game was rushed. If the ending, the only thing that changes about the ending is a few lines of text. Like, this game had to have been rushed. Because it just ends. Like, it ends so abruptly. I'm moving on. I've been talking about it ending for a while now. Let's talk about the actual game. So, like I said, you're collecting fruit. You run across 2 new Pikmin types, the Winged Pikmin and the Rock Pikmin. The Rock Pikmin being essentially, well, like, they're essential in this game. They're, like, really good. Purple Pikmin and White Pikmin don't appear in this game, except in Pikmin 3 Deluxe, where they're locked to mission modes, which I'll get to those in a second. Winged Pikmin, I thought were really cool, until I realized their pathing is kind of stupid. Winged Pikmin, the whole appeal of Winged Pikmin is that they can fly over stuff and take stuff to the ship quicker. This doesn't apply to every area, though. I can't remember exactly where. But I remember I threw some Winged Pikmin at something, and they got stuck. I don't know how they got stuck, but they weren't able to move. Oh, wait, no, I know exactly. I remember. It was in the area with the lily pads. I threw some Pikmin. I threw some Winged Pikmin to carry something back to the ship, but they got stuck because they couldn't fly over the river because they were trying to go on the lily pad, I think. I think that's what was happening. They were stuck at the lily pad entrance, but they couldn't get on it because the thing they were trying to carry back was too big. But they couldn't fly over the river. It didn't make sense to me at all, but whatever. The lock-on feature in this game kind of annoys me. It would go back and forth between a lot of things. The lock-on feature just wasn't consistent. I don't know what it was about it. It just wasn't doing it for me. But other than that, it was just Pikmin. Like, the weird thing is that I loved what I was playing in Pikmin 3. The most disappointing thing about Pikmin 3 is that it ends too soon. The level designs are fine. I don't like the puzzles that require all 3 people. That gets kind of annoying to shuffle between all of them, especially since the button that like quickly switches between them. Especially since the button that switches between them will change which position the character is depending on who you're playing as. Like, for example, if I'm Elf and if I want to switch to Brittany, she would be on the left. I would have to press, I think I would have to press the left button. Whereas if I wanted to play as Charlie, I would have to go right. Open the menu, left for Brittany, right for Charlie. Now let's say I switch to Charlie. Brittany's no longer on the left, she's on the right. That's what I was trying to talk about. Like, if I'm trying to quickly switch between them, the character I want will sometimes like switch depending on who I'm playing as, and that fucks my mind a little bit. But anyway, that's just a nitpick. That one is just a nitpick. I just keep pointing out the negatives. It's so easy to point out the negatives. Pikmin 3 was really fun. I liked multitasking, which was the weird thing because I never did it in Pikmin 2. Multitasking in this game is pretty essential if you want to get it done in a quick manner. And once I got the hang of it, I got so much progress done. I was blazing through the game on my second playthrough, because I did a second playthrough to, for all the fruits, and yeah, I was just able to blaze through the game, and it was super satisfying. While at this point you might already know, but I fucking hate the way it ended. The game itself is fine. I think to make up for the fact that the game ends so fast, they had other shit you can do. So there's mission mode. And mission mode is basically time attack mode, and I thought this mode was so fucking stupid at first. I thought it was, like, it didn't make sense to me why it was a thing. Until I started playing a little bit of them, and I was like, oh, this makes sense. Wait, this is clicking with me now. The mission mode is basically if you want pocket-sized Pikmin stuff to do without having to fully invest into a Pikmin thing, then mission mode is exactly what you do. They're just quick, tiny, bite-sized levels that you can quickly go through, and the faster you do it, the better score you get. It's satisfying to, like, 100% a mission mode area, and it does have its warrants. It does have its benefits. Like, there are cool things with it. I didn't get it at first, but I get it now. But there's a difference between making a cool little feature and then being lazy, and I'm talking about fucking the Olimar sections in Pikmin 3 Deluxe. There's Olimar's Assignment and Olimar's Comeback, which are like a prequel sequel to Pikmin 3. That didn't make any fucking sense. Olimar's Assignment takes place before the events of Pikmin 3 story mode, and then Olimar's Comeback takes place after. That's what I meant. And they're essentially mission mode. They are just mission mode, except they have cutscenes between them. That's it. That is literally it. Olimar's Assignment is like 4 levels. Olimar's Comeback is like 10 levels. That's it. There's not a lot to them. There's not a lot to do in them, and they're just mission mode. They're not that great. Honestly, not cool. And then there's also Bingo Battle, which you need friends to do that with. I don't have any friends. I tried it with my brother, and he didn't understand Pikmin, so it was like I couldn't even fully enjoy the mode because I was playing with someone who doesn't know what the fuck Pikmin is. I think the idea of Bingo Battle is really cool. It just sucks that I can't really play it with anyone. So that's Pikmin 3. Originally, I was just gonna end the script on Pikmin 3, but then I got my hands on Pikmin 4, and I can't leave Pikmin 4 out of this video. Pikmin 4 is absolutely the best game in the franchise. Like, absolutely, it is so goddamn good. I don't want to say too much because it is a new game, and I don't want to spoil people on it. It's the best-selling Pikmin game right now. People are going to be playing it for the first time. I won't say too much. All I'm going to say is that it is my favorite Pikmin game. There's so much to do in it. The level designs are really cool. The Andori battles are really fun. It took me a little bit to get used to Ochi and how Ochi differs from playing your normal character. God, I love Ochi, though. I love that as you progress through the game, you unlock more gear and equipment. That's really cool. I love that you're just not stuck with your normal control set. You get more as you play. And you also just learn more as you play. Like, as you rescue people, there's just so much more that unlocks that you can do. And I think that's super fucking cool. There's underground sections in this game too, and they're not as bullshit as Pikmin 2, which thank God. I actually like the underground section in this game a lot more than Pikmin 2. And at the time of recording this, I haven't beaten Pikmin 4. I've been taking my time with it and just going through all the areas thoroughly, making sure I 100% an area before going to the next one. And I've just been having a blast. Like, Pikmin 4 is just really good. And if there's a Pikmin game that's going to be your first Pikmin, Pikmin 4 is honestly probably your best bet. Because it is, God, it is really good. While the entire Pikmin franchise is available on Switch now, Pikmin 1 and 2 can be seen as stressful at first and might deter some people from playing it. Pikmin 4 is like the perfect game to start off to ease yourself into a Pikmin game. Because the main reason I was so like hesitant on starting Pikmin is when I learned about the time limit. It's like the same reason why I haven't beaten Majora's Mask. A time limit stresses me the fuck out. And I thought for Pikmin it was going to be like a strict time limit and I wasn't going to have enough time to do what I want to do before the game ends. Obviously now I know how lenient the time limit is. But for someone who's just getting into Pikmin, it might be a little discouraging. Pikmin 4, really fucking good for that. Like, it's just... It is just... There's nothing more I could say other than that. Pikmin 4 is really good. And as a whole, the Pikmin series is just... God, it's so fucking good. Like, Pikmin immediately skyrocketed to one of my favorite Nintendo franchises. Like, pretty much as soon as I finished Pikmin 3, I realized that. I was like, oh shit. Pikmin is just really good. And that's funny to say, because I would say Pikmin 3 is, in terms of a tier list, it would be the lowest on the tier. But just because it's the lowest on the tier, that doesn't make it a bad game. It just means it didn't satisfy me as much as the other games. But it took Pikmin 3 to realize that I fucking love Pikmin. I think more people need to play Pikmin. And I'm so glad that Pikmin 4 is receiving the sales that it is, because goddamn it deserves it. And, oh, fuck Hey Pikmin.